every day was like a quest to find something to put Drake into.
Hey there, my name's Brent Wolf, and this is For the Record, a series where I get to talk with my favorite people about the projects that they're doing. For today's guest, we have Lynnea Malley. Lynnea, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me, Brent. It's fun to be here.
No problem. So we are talking about your album, You Know You Felt, which is out today. How excited are you?
I'm very excited. I'm really excited.
Yeah?
It's been a really long time coming, so it's nice to it'll feel nice to finally be able to tell people that they can go listen to it.
Definitely.
If they want to.
Yeah, and it's going to be on iTunes, Spotify, your website, the whole 9 yards?
The whole 9 yards.
Cool. Well, before we get into any other questions, one thing that I've been wondering is the way that you stylize your name as an artist is Lynnea with the A in brackets. What is the significance of these brackets?
What a good question, Brent.
Thank you.
I knew, my artist name. It took a little bit to decide what I wanted, and I definitely wanted my name to be a part of it.
Of course.
But I just felt like just my name was pretty lame. It felt very, I don't know. I wanted it to be something funkier. So since my music, I want my music to kind of funky, so I wanted to have a name that reflected it's kind of weird, whatever.
Gotcha.
And so then I kind of started looking at other popular artists at the time, and I saw that a lot of them have weird stuff going on with spellings.
Yeah.
And the way that things are written, so I wanted to give that a shot. And so it ended up, I tried a few different things, and I forget what some of my other options were, but I liked the brackets. I thought aesthetically it looked kind of fun.
Yeah.
Then I also like that a lot of people think my name is pronounced Lynnea, and I don't. It's not.
So it's Lynnea and then emphasizing the at the end.
In a way I felt like that would make it easier for people to understand how it's pronounced. So yeah, that's
cool.
The summary of that decision, and now here it is.
Makes perfect sense to me. So you grew up in Omaha, Nebraska, right?
Yes.
Cool.
Remember.
Well, and so then, we met at Columbia College Chicago doing vocal jazz, and before that you were at Loyola doing classical music. So with all of these different...
I'm touched that you remember all these details.
I do my research.
That's so nice.
So with all these different musical endeavors, just from choir in Nebraska to classical music at Loyola to contemporary music at Columbia, how has your music and your perspective on music changed throughout the years?
I would say as far as my style of writing and style of creating, I started my first few songs. I just my first EP. I liked everything I made. I really like that EP. I think it's fun. I feel proud to look back on that, even though it's my first thing, and there are definitely some technical issues with it. But I feel like when I was writing those songs, I was very much in a mindset of what can I do that people will like? What kind of sound can I make that people will listen to, that people will want to listen to?
Yeah.
And I tried to be very, very focused on what would accrue the most listens, etc.
Makes sense.
And then as I went on, and especially with my full album, If I Take Off My Shirt, listen to my music album, and then especially with this one, I let myself just do what I wanted.
Yeah.
It's such an in-between of what is right and what is wrong when it comes to artistry, I suppose, because obviously you're making things for people to listen to. You want people to listen to them. For a lot of people, the purpose of making music is as a gift to other people, and to hope that they can relate with it and enjoy it. So obviously you want to keep those things in mind. But it was kind of nice to have the path of as I remember my first Disjointed.
Yeah.
I feel like every song I tried to pick an artist to emulate, and I was I want this one to sound kind of James Blake-ish because everyone's listening to James Blake right now, and I want this one to sound kind of like that Katy Perry song, whatever.
Yeah.
But since then I've moved away from that, and I've just kind of gone with just let each song become what it becomes, and then I'll do my best from there to try and get people to listen to it or see if they like it.
So one thing that I really enjoy about your music is that it doesn't really fall into any one genre. There are certain songs on your last album that seem a little bit more like folky, and then you have some songs that are like traditional pop, and then you have the really electronic sort of songs. And then this newest single seems very heavily influenced by electronic music. So I don't know if that goes for the rest of the album, but what sort of led you or inspired you to go in this sort of electronic experimental pop direction?
I I used to write music with my guitar, and then I never felt like that was the kind of sound that I wanted, but that was the most I could do with the tools that I had. So then I through my path in music, I learned some production, like a good amount of production, and I just love producing.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm still very like elementary with it, so I don't want to say like I'm a producer, because I wouldn't call myself a producer.
Right.
I'm able to produce to the best of my ability, and then I usually take what I have and then go and get it professionally tuned up.
Yeah.
But I've loved the doors that producing has opened for me, and I really enjoy making music through like synths and on like with my computer. So I just like doing it.
Right.
I guess is the first thing. And then I just feel like it allows for so much more, because I have plenty of friends that play music, and I am in certain bands, but I don't have like a band that is my own. So when I'm making music, it's like just me. And so since I can play guitar okay, but that's not the sound I want. So I would say, just like learning to produce kind of like pushed me towards the sounds that I've got now.
Cool. Well, I definitely think that your lyrics are just really great in the way that they can tell a story and are also relatable at the same time. And that's something that's been throughout all three of, well, at least the first two of your albums, and then from what I've heard so far of this new one. How do you allow yourself to be so vulnerable and so open with your lyrics? Because a lot of your songs just seem like they're straight up just like your thoughts out onto this page and like exactly what you're feeling. And it's really cool in the way that you do that. So how do you just allow yourself to open up in that capacity?
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Because I do feel sometimes like a little vulnerable about it. So it's nice to hear that people like them.
Yeah.
I would say it's easy to be with songwriting to be super vulnerable, because I write when I feel like I need to. So
that makes sense.
Yeah. So it's like when I'm having an explosion of feelings is when I write a song. So then I just and I get as dark as I need to.
Yeah.
And sometimes I feel like they're exaggerations of what I'm feeling, but just the ability to make it huge. I think that's the beauty of making anything. If it's like a drawing or music or any form of art, I love that it's a universe that you are creating.
For sure.
So you are able to get as creepy as you need to.
Yeah.
So I think it just when I'm having an explosion of feelings, that's kind of the byproduct of that, and I just leave it as it is after once the wave passes of emotion. I like to just keep it. It was
definitely just strike while the iron's hot, full of emotions. So, kind of tied to that, your last album, If I Take My Shirt Off, Will You Listen to My Music, is a very direct message. It really is, just that title alone and the song itself, it really focuses on that message of what can I do and why isn't this sort of good enough? Why isn't what I'm creating good enough for this audience? At least that's how I listen to the song as. Yeah. So, in your future music, are you going to be creating songs with similar messages like that, where you sort of take a step back and critique your environment or critique society's standpoint on things? Because it really seems like that song in particular, and with that album title, that there really is a message or something behind it.
Thanks. I'm so glad that it spoke to you like that. With my future songwriting, it's hard to say. I think I'm such a sucker for just writing when I have a crazy feeling. So I just it depends on what is going to get me raging, I suppose, next. And I'm trying to remember day that I wrote that song. Because there's always, like, it's always just, like, a big day where I'm just like, ah!
Yeah.
And then, like, the whole thing just, like...
Just spills out.
Yeah. Yeah. It's hard to know when I think with, like, a lot of artists, too, when they're doing it just to, like, make money or to, like, say something, but I don't know. It's just, I think I was just feeling so frustrated that day, and that's why I ended up writing that song. And so we'll see.
Yeah.
Depends on what gets me frustrated, which a lot of things do.
Well, on this sort of series, I also want to incorporate a segment that I like to call, Oh, Okay. And it's inspired by YouTuber Grace Helbig's segment on her podcast, Not Too Deep. And so I went through your social media, and I found one post that I just needed a little bit of explanation on.
Oh, I'm so curious.
So, on Instagram in 2015, you had a series of posts that featured Drake incorporated into them somehow. And there was one in particular that had Mr. Krabs, SpongeBob, Patrick, and Drake.
Yeah.
And it made me go, oh, okay. So, tell me, what was the thought process behind this infatuation with Drake?
Life with Drake. Hashtag Life with Drake, my previous Instagram handle.
Yes.
This is something that I think like half of the world knows about, but for some reason, the circles that I run into didn't know about.
Uh-huh.
There's an app called Drake Shake.
Okay.
And it's fantastic. I highly recommend. And it literally, so you download Drake Shake the app, and then take any photo you have, and you shake your phone, and like a little Drake pops up in it.
Oh my god.
And you can like make him bigger or smaller and move him wherever.
Yeah.
When I found this app, I was like, oh.
Like,
this is
game
me
over.
now. Yeah. Like Drake will be in everything that I have. So then I went on this rampage for several months, where like every day was like a quest to find something to put Drake into.
Yeah. Oh my god.
And it was the best.
I love
kind of
it.
wish I still was doing that. Maybe I'll do that again.
Maybe it'll like pop up here and there. Well, thank you for shedding some light on those photos.
Thank you for your interest.
No problem. So, speaking of your favorite things, do you have any favorite songs on this upcoming album?
Oh, yes. Yes. So as I was saying, it's been a really long process making this. And it's only 5 songs, so it's funny that this has taken so long. But mostly it's my fault. Whatever. But throughout the course of it, I feel like my favorite has changed a couple of times. The single that was released ahead of time, has been my favorite for most of it.
Yeah.
Most of the process.
I mean, it's a really cool song. I feel like it's so different from, like, what you put out in the past. Like, it's in the same realm, and it definitely ties in and is similar to your previous music, but I feel like the production of it is so interesting. And it, like, mixes between having this, like, sort of sparse production in the beginning to then having, like, all these different sounds, and, like, it goes back and forth. It's, like, it's very dynamic, and I love it, personally.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
That's my space song. It sounds like space. But, yeah, I really like, the sound is super cool. I like the melody and everything, and, like, just, like, the meaning of it is really cool to me, because at first it's like, it's like a heartbreak thing, but at the end it's like, actually you are screwing yourself, so whatever.
See ya.
So it's just, I love it as kind of like a pain but powerful thing, but so that's been my favorite for most of the time, but lately it's tied with the last song on the album called Not So Bad, which this album is fun because the first 4 songs are like pretty dark, they're like pretty emo, but then Not So Bad is the one that is like the dance track, if you will. If there's a dance track on this one, it's that, and I like it because it's far more optimistic. Yeah. And it's just like a fun thing to jam to. So I hope you like it too.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm sure they're all going to be great.
Thanks.
So your album is out today, available to stream everywhere. What's next? Are you going to be playing some local shows in Chicago, perhaps back in Nebraska, a tour, music videos? What's next?
So, next. I don't have a tour planned, first and foremost. Maybe someday. I always think with tours, since it is so much time, effort, money, and getting other people involved, I want to wait until I know that I have people who would come to those shows.
Makes sense.
So, no tour yet. I'm going to start the release of this, I think I'm still trying to like work out the kinks, but I want to do kind of like a release party / gallery type thing. So,
Yeah.
So since I do music, I also do art, like visual art. I like to draw. So I was thinking that'd be a cool combo if I could do a party that's got my music like playing, and then do some art that's like maybe related to the album. And then I do have a music video coming out. My friend Scout Hansen,
shout out to Scout,
the bomb. She filmed a music video for me, and it's still in the editing process. But we're making a music video, at least to You, the song. I do want to do videos to some of the other ones too. So and I'm trying to get some merch too for the first time ever.
Goodness.
So I'm trying to get everything like organized, and it's all kind of just a crapshoot because every day I'm like, I gotta post it. I'll order some sunglasses.
Right.
So once I get myself put together, then I'll have more of a strategic thing.
Well, awesome. I mean, I can't wait for the music video then, and for the release party, whatever you end up doing for it. Where can people find you online?
LynneaMalley.com is the main hub. Let me spell it for you. LynneaMalley.com. That's my website. You can find me all over the place, but I think that's the best like hub to then expand because it's got the links to everywhere that you would need.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Cool. So check out her website, and once her album is available everywhere, which it is today, go to iTunes or to Spotify and type in LYNNE brackets, like the square ones, A, and then you'll be able to find her there. Cool. Well, Lynnea, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me today. I am so excited for this new album, and I'm so happy that everyone else is going to be able to hear it.
Thank you so much, Brett. Thank you for having me. This has been awesome.
No problem. So, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all next time.